What's up, new investors on YouTube? My name is Jamie Hall. I'm a 10-year real estate veteran, and I've been specializing over the last decade on creative finance real estate, deals that require no banks, no capital, no credit, and in your situation, no experience whatsoever. I call it the three C's: no credit, capital, or credibility. It's very, very possible in the month of April to go out and make your first 5,000 plus in real estate. And I'm going to show you exactly how I did that 10 years ago. 2012, I made over 10,000 in my first month, my first full month in real estate as a green investor using this exact strategy. The strategy is called sandwich lease option. And it doesn't require you to own the property. It doesn't require banks. It doesn't require you to leverage yourself in any way. It's the safest investment you could possibly do, in my opinion, as a new investor. And it's ideal under any market conditions, high, low, or in between, and especially in a crashing market, which is inevitable post-COVID with the way that things are going. If you're following in real estate, there's a big correction coming sooner than later. And if you already know the strategy ahead of time, in advance, you will be able to go and mop up all kinds of beautiful properties. When unfortunately other people are losing them, you'll be able to go ahead and build your portfolio without the use of banks. So what I'm going to do is add maximum value in the month of April to a handful of beta students so that I can collect my data, get my beta together, and it will someday form a course and some other tangents based on the data that I get with this group. I'm going to do what was never done for me and what I've never actually seen done before. I'm going to sit with this group 24/7 for 30 days to assure their success and get my testimonials, get my surveys done, and again, just gather as much data as possible to make this course, when it's complete, the best course it can possibly be. Let me adjust this camera real quick and I'll break it down for you. So the priority is to make money in real estate in April. No messing around. A few of these students, as long as they're motivated and they're willing to put the work in, and again, this is a part-time strategy, but if you put in full-time work, you're going to get even better results. 5,000 is almost an assured profit if you follow the steps that I took. And again, I made over twice that in my first month, and I didn't have anybody sitting with me. I didn't have a coach in my back pocket for the first month. So we're going to do this without banks, credit, or capital, like I said. Sandwich lease options are called that because you are the in-between. You are the meat in the sandwich. There's the seller, the motivated seller, motivated for any number of reasons. There's you in between. You lease the property with an option to sell it, and then you sublease it to a motivated buyer that's got usually a lot of cash and poor credit. And they want to get into a property and they want to lock that property in with the option to purchase it. So they will pay you a big upfront. The least that I've ever gotten upfront is $5,000, anywhere from 5 to 15K. I've actually made more than 15K just upfront on a beautiful property. The monthly cash flow, because these people are motivated to get into the house, and there's other ways that you can motivate them to pay more rent, the cash flow is always going to be above market. So you'll get upfront money, 5 to 15K on average, above market rents, so your cash flow will be increased. And if the option is exercised at the end of the time frame, you'll get a big back-end profit. Now, a lot of people on YouTube, they'll pump wholesaling. Wholesaling is a job. Trying to get somebody to give you their house under contract for 60 cents on the dollar or even less is a lot of work, and it's a hard sell. With this technique, this strategy, you can actually offer people 90, I've even offered 100% on the right kind of properties. And you can achieve the upfront, the monthly cash flow, and the big back-end profit, even if you give them full asking price. So basically you're going to the seller that's got the motivation and say, hey, look, if you got time, I'll give you the maximum money on the property. And then you mark the property up, you sell it to the motivated buyer. They make fantastic tenants because they have ownership mentality in the property. They're not just renting, they're planning on owning the property. And if they don't, for whatever reason, exercise that option at the end of their time frame, then you get the property back and you get to redo the entire cycle again. You get other buyers, you get more money up front, you get probably increased cash flow because the rents have probably gone up in that time frame, and you still have a chance to get the back end profit or maybe recycle the property again, sometimes over and over again. So it's a beautiful strategy. It's ideal for, like I said, any market circumstances, but especially what's coming. With this major correction, which a lot of people believe is going to be a 2008 style correction. And I believe that as well. So the way it's going to work And the way that I'm going to be with you 24/7, small adjustment there. The LOCC beta group, which you'll find out what LLCC means. I'm not going to say it on YouTube because it's a great brand, and if I say it, then somebody's going to rip it off before the course is even complete. But it has to do with the oncoming crash or huge, deep real estate adjustment that's inevitable. We're going to start out with Zoom onboarding calls. I'm going to teach a handful of people how to make $5,000 in the month of April and every month thereafter at a minimum on a part-time effort in real estate without, again, bank's credit, any kind of previous experience. And I'm going to be able to do it over just 5 lessons. And we're going to spread those 5 lessons over 5 one-hour Zoom calls over 5 days. In those 5 hours, I can break down all the mechanics of this transaction so that you understand it and you have an expert understanding of the actual strategy itself. But then I'm going to sit with you for 30 days. And I'm going to assure your success because I want the testimonials. I want the data. And I just want to get back a little bit for what real estate's done for me, to be quite frank. I'm going to give you unlimited Voxer access to me. Voxer is, if you're not familiar, a free app. It's kind of a walkie-talkie app that you can text on, you can call on it, and you'll be able to catch me around the clock. Literally, if you Voxer me in the middle of the night, I will be back to you within 1 or 2 hours to answer your questions. When we really need to get into detail or I need to help you analyze deals, things are very specific to whatever it is that you have going on that particular day, I can give you a Loom video. Loom is another free software. It's a video recording software. I can record my screen. I can break things down to you. And you know, if it's really necessary, if you're getting ready to close the deal, and we can just get on the phone together and I'll walk you through every step of it. You're going to get access to the finished course. Once the beta is done and this course is complete, it's going to be a minimum of $5,000 coaching course. You're going to get free access to it. At that point, you probably won't need it because you've already spent 30 days with me and you'll know everything. But you'll get access to it and you can gift it to somebody if you like. I don't care. You'll get future access to an app that I'm going to create around this coaching program. That's going to be for new people to kind of support them as they go in to negotiate deals, to analyze deals, but especially when the time comes to negotiate a contract, sit down and do it. They'll be able to get support through the app and kind of give them a little bit of confidence and give them the information they need quick so they can lock that deal in. There's going to be a future ebook based on this course. I'll be writing that shortly after April, and I will feature all the success stories in that book, and that might help you get some exposure, it might help your brand. And you know, all the success stories will be featured in full, probably their own chapters within this ebook. Through my connections over the last 10 years, I've gotten to know a lot of big names in real estate, and the guy that really mentored me, not to name drop, but he just happens to be very good friends with Robert Kiyosaki. And through that connection, I've gotten to know Robert and Kim. We've gone on cruises, several of them, over the last few years. And anyways, I've got a couple of copies of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, autographed by Robert Kiyosaki. And the first 1 or 2 people to sign up for this beta, I'm going to go ahead and send you an autographed copy of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. If you haven't read that book, where have you been? And through those connections as well, we have the opportunity to maybe bring on some mystery guest coaches. People that you've probably heard of, big names, and whether they get on maybe a Zoom call with us or they just do some videos for us and give you some motivation and some tips from the top. That's going to be a feature as well, and we're going to add value on top of value on top of value for a ridiculous beta price of $5,000, or sorry, $500 for a course that's going to be $5,000. So 10% of what the actual course is going to be. And when the course is said and done, people aren't going to have me for 30 days. That's not even possible. There's going to be thousands of people buying the course. But for this first beta group, I'm going to do it for a fraction of the cost. And I'm going to sit with you for 30 full days, 24/7 to assure your success. And all I ask in return is a testimonial so that we can bring on more people and save them a ton of time and a ton of money in their real estate education. I've spent over $100,000 over the course of 10 years on summits and courses and seminars and private coaches. And if I would have had this back then, even though I did do well in my first full month in real estate, it would have accelerated me so much. It would save me tens of thousands of dollars and probably a couple of years. And that's what I want to do for people. and I'll do it with your help. And I'll do it by helping you first. So go ahead and message me on Facebook. I'm going to put the link down below this video. And if there's anybody else you know that is struggling to get started in real estate, because it can be very, very frustrating. It's a very broad topic. And especially if you don't have the resources right away, we're going to solve all those problems for everybody. If you don't have any capital, solved. You don't have any credit, you can't deal with banks, or you just hate banks like I do, solved. You don't have any experience, solved. I got you for 30 days. So go ahead and message me, and we're going to do a quick interview process. I want to make sure that I'm dealing with people that are motivated and are willing to commit, a measly $500. It's not about the money. It's this, I need to be working with people, especially if I'm going to dedicate an entire month of my life. I need to be working with people, obviously, that I don't have to drag over the finish line. And they're willing to put just a little bit of skin in the game, and they're willing to put the time in. You don't have to spend, you don't have to block out an entire month by any means. When we get on our first interview, we're going to determine what your schedule is, what your restraints are. I don't have any constraints whatsoever on my schedule. I'm blocking out the month of April to do this and do it right. So get a hold of me. Let's have a quick talk, see if we're a match, and hopefully we'll talk soon. Thanks.